Welcome back to another episode of Crystal Hook Fishing. Today we are on the boat but not on the water because it is windy and rainy and the weather is not allowing us to go out to dive. But instead, I'm going to do a video that I've seen a lot of comments about, which are like people being like, oh, I don't think I can dive deep. I don't think I'll ever be able to get there. I'm doing a lot of training, but I'm not seeing much progress. Stuff like that. I think that the two main factors that impede training or that lead you to be able to get to that next step are less training related and more related to what you're putting in your body and how you're taking care of your body outside of just freediving. So today we're going to do a video on nutrition and fitness for the freediver, focusing on how to optimize our body for freediving. The first thing I want to say about that is that because we're thinking about freediving, you have to compromise on some other stuff, right? So you don't want to do creatine, for instance, when you're freediving because it dehydrates you, which means you're not going to have this like absolutely jacked physique, but you are going to have the best body type and the best ability to get deep and stay deep when you're freediving. But that just means that you have to compromise on some other things. So we're going to start off with nutrition. There are some everyday adjustments that you should make to your diet anyway to stay healthy. Things like cutting out fatty and greasy foods, eating all your fruits and veggies, protein, lean meat. Fish is great for freediving because of its lean protein content. Stuff like that you probably already know. Two things that you might not know though are one, antioxidant-rich foods like raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, any berry basically, helps combat oxidative stress, which helps you fight fatigue when you're diving. When you've been at the end of a dive day, you feel your legs are just like really sore, you just don't really want to dive anymore because you're just exhausted. Those foods come in then. If you're eating berries consistently, you get some in with your breakfast, get some for lunch, you're less likely to feel that kind of oxidative stress when you're diving. The other one is foods that create mucus. Whenever you're equalizing and you have trouble because your ears feel like they're about to explode or you feel it right here or up here in your sinuses, etc., right? That's a mucus buildup. And some foods that contribute to those are dairy, gluten, and sugar. They help produce mucus in your sinuses and all that stuff, and it really makes it hard to equalize. Now, one thing that you can do to combat that when you're freediving is I like to take a Sudafed in the morning. They do 12 hours and it's perfect. You take one in the morning. It doesn't have like a drowsy effect or any like side effects that would mess with your freediving. And it really helps you clear out all that and make sure your equalization is going to be good. Now, those are like general, foods that you should avoid or incorporate into your diet, like more generally. Now, before diving, you want to make sure that you're not getting any caffeine. On the day or night before diving, you want to have a small dinner with no caffeine and no alcohol. The reason for the caffeine specifically is because it raises your heart rate, makes it harder to get your heart rate down before a dive. You want your heart rate to be down before dives because then you're using less oxygen, you can stay down longer. Now, the other thing that people don't think about that much is how much they're eating. When you have your dinner and breakfast before diving, you want to eat extremely light because when you eat too much, you're actually taking up space under your diaphragm and pushing that diaphragm up, making it harder for your lungs to expand when you're doing a breathe up. I know it sucks to be a little bit hungry for the first half of the day, but what I like to do is have probably like one egg, a quarter of an avocado, and a slice of toast for breakfast, maybe. Mostly it's egg, avocado, and then I do like a smoothie. And then for lunch, you can have like, do like ceviche or something, like something small, light, have some carbs in there with some chips or something like that. And that'll get you through the day. Always have berries with both of those meals to combat oxidative stress and all that stuff. Another thing that you should do on the day or night of diving that I cannot get enough of is beetroot. Now, beetroot juice includes a lot of nitrates. They carry all of those things that help you increase blood flow and oxygen flow to the muscles. Athletes use it a lot when they are doing cardio, when they're exercising or working out for any extended periods of time. It helps your body be more efficient with its oxygen. One thing that struck me and got me to first try out this beetroot juice thing is this study here that says that there's an 11% increase in apnea times for participants that were using beetroot juice-based supplement versus participants that weren't. There's other research that says that the effect is less or more, but personally, after trying it and using it, I feel as though it has had a marked increase in my freediving performance, and I've integrated it into my freediving routine. So what I like to do is I take one beetroot juice smoothie with my breakfast, and then I bring this powder on the boat and have it with water with lunch. We've talked about mucus and its role in causing equalization issues. Another thing that causes really bad equalization issues is dehydration. I like to stay hydrated on a freediving day, but it's really important that I'm not also just pounding 6 or 7 water bottles, because again, that takes up space below the diaphragm, makes it harder to inflate your lungs. So you want to find ways to get efficiently hydrated by drinking maybe 1 or 2 water bottles full of water as opposed to, 3 or 4. The way that I like to do that is with hydration supplements. They also have the added benefit of giving you electrolytes, the little packets that you just put in a water bottle and you drink them. I particularly like this one from Primal Nutrition, the Primal Hydration, but you can also get some from Element, from Liquid IV, etc. All those companies make a very similar product that is designed to just get you hydrated as quickly and efficiently as possible. Now, there are other ways to up your nutrition game so that you are freediving to the best of your ability. And the ways that I like to do it is through supplements. Now, I'm going to go through these quickly because they should be pretty intuitive. Multivitamin. I like the GNC Sport because it helps you with things like recovery. It includes magnesium, which helps you with muscle soreness, all that kind of fun stuff. We're going to talk about working out in a second. Definitely recommend that. I also like pre and probiotics. This is the prebiotic that I currently use. The probiotic I currently use, sorry, it's Pro 50. It's actually like just the cheapest one on Amazon. Works great. Link in the description. I'll include the link here too. What's important for these is that when we're eating a lot of raw fish and seafood and stuff like that, you want to make sure your gut microbiome is doing well, so that you don't have any of those problems with, the fish disrupting anything going on in your gut. It also just keeps you, just overall health, overall mental health, all that stuff. All right, another one that I do is a calcium supplement, mostly because I have bad bones, but it is just another one that you might want to integrate into your daily whatever. Now, this is the alternate calcium supplement that I do. This one is way better than the Life Extension, but this one is also more expensive. It's an algae-based, seaweed-based calcium supplement, which is very interesting, but I prefer this one. I'll include the links to both. Now, the last two that I do are probably the two most important other than the multivitamin. First, fish oil. Brain health is really important, especially when we're depriving our brain and our body of oxygen for long periods of time. Now, if you're diving properly, your brain should pretty much never be deprived of oxygen. But what fish oil does is it helps with longevity. It keeps your brain from aging. If you want to be diving when you're in your 60s and 70s like GR Tar, you definitely want some fish oil in your, daily circuit. Last one, collagen. Most people take collagen for their hair, nails, etc., stuff like that. I take it for my joints. I take the Primal Collagen from Primal Harvest Nutrition, and it's specifically targeted at skin and joint health. Diving a lot, salt all over the skin, dries it out, makes your skin, it just sucks. And if you don't want to deal with all those moisturizers all the time, you should still do those. But definitely collagen helps with those, helps with joints. Joints are really important for freediving, especially your knees, your hips, all that stuff, spearfishing. You want to make sure that you're taking care of all of those things. All right, so we've covered nutrition. Now, one of the most important aspects of all of this is you can have all this nutritious whatever, but if you're not getting physical activity, if you're not taking care of your muscles and your body, you're not going to see those results when you're freediving. Now, the biggest thing I can recommend for you all is when you are at the gym, you are not at the gym to build a jacked physique. You are at the gym to freedive, to get better at freediving. So low weight, high reps, never skip leg day. Those are the 3 rules of freediving fitness. If you want to add to that, here are 2 ways that you can do that. The first is lots and lots of cardio. I like to, diversify the amount of cardio, the kind of cardio I do. I know the Stairmaster is not the sexiest thing you can do in the gym, but it's really good for slower cardio. Remember, when you're freediving, you're not doing a sprint. You're not, you're not running, you're not jumping rope, that kind of thing. Instead, freediving is the kind of cardio where you're moving slowly, but you're getting your heart rate up because you're encountering a lot of resistance in the water, especially in a current. If you think about the best way to replicate that, you start to look at things like Stairmaster, incline treadmill, stuff like that. I particularly, when I'm doing cardio, like to incorporate an oxygen depriving mask. These things are incredible for your freediving cardio. What they do is they go over your face. They stop you from, they basically impede the oxygen intake to your lungs. So you're still getting oxygen, you're just not getting as much. And it teaches your body to be much more efficient with its oxygen when you train like that. It's meant to mimic high altitude training. So if you live in a high altitude environment already, this can get dangerous. You could pass out, stuff like that. But if you live like me at sea level, this is really good for helping you train your body for freediving, help you train your muscles for operating at a lower amount of oxygen, for being more efficient with their oxygen, and for just having better cardiovascular health, which is really important for freediving. This is the Sparthos oxygen mask. I will also include a link to that. Now, the last thing, when you are rate training, I like to do them all on breath holds. I use this like $30 nose clip from Amazon. Link to that's right here. And I literally just plug, low weight, high reps, go as many as I can. Obviously have a spotter for this. You do not want to pass out in the gym. The other thing is, if you've got one, Garmin watch, the strength thing on here, you just like tap down, you go to the strength, you start it. It times your rest and it times your actual sets. And what's good for that is you can do it like a surface interval. So if you don't have a Garmin watch, literally just time your rest so that you're doing it 3 times the amount of time that it took for you to do your set. You want to aim for about a minute to a minute and a half of like working reps. If that means you need to slow down your reps and still have a high rep count, that's fine. But you want to train till failure, not train your muscles till failure, but train your lungs till failure. Remember, we're focusing on freediving, not on building a jacked physique. If you want to focus on freediving, you want to think about going as long as you can and not gassing out immediately by making it impossible to lift your arms. Ideally, you can do both. Ideally, once you get the timing down, once you understand your body a little bit more and are doing this for a little bit, the end of your set in terms of your shoulder or arm or chest or whatever strength is also going to be coincide with the end of your lung strength if you're timing it right. But definitely recommend doing it on a breath hold. It will improve your apnea times. It'll improve your apnea walks and all that stuff. I'm going to do a separate video on apnea and the different kinds of diaphragm stretches and apnea exercise later, but I really hope this helped you all with your freediving nutrition and fitness, and I will see you guys out on the water next week.